It's 11:30. We're getting closer to food. In the Catholic tradition, as in the case of many of our traditions, we see fasting as a way to focus on the needs of others. And as we all experience hunger in this moment, let's think about those who endure hunger daily. So as we approach lunch, let's turn to SB 610. Food for all Oregonians. To share about this crucial bill, please welcome Allison, who's the Executive Director at Levin and formerly the Co-Executive Director at Partners for Hunger-Free Oregon. Allison Keeling, please.
Hey, folks. Hi, good morning. So y'all are gonna have to hang with me a little bit because I'm stepping in for my friend, Matt Newell Ching, who is stranded in New York. His flight was canceled last night. I got a 9:30 text saying, Allison, are you gonna be at Interfaith Advocacy Day? Can you speak on the bill? So here I am, and I can not speak to the detailed policy wonkishness, but I speak to why this bill matters to me. So I have been pastor at Salt and Light Lutheran now for about 3.5 months. I'm new still. Prior to that, I was at Partners for Hunger-Free Oregon for 8 years, and I started in community engagement there. And when I started there, before we did community organizing, we did community engagement. And so the strategy that we used was focus groups. And where we started with this was, okay, I'm gonna travel all around the world, Oregon. Sometimes it feels like traveling around the world. And ask folks, what do you need to improve access to food? And sometimes we got really wonkish. We were like, let's talk about SNAP, let's talk about food stamps, what about, farmer's market match? What about, we got like really in the weeds. And actually what we learned in that first tour around the state, talking with folks, was that they didn't have access to SNAP. They were completely excluded. Entire communities of Oregonians doing essential workers, as we learned during the pandemic, and folks who are just alongside us, right, in our communities, and who are us. And I saw and began to understand that, this is not new. We divide ourselves up into categories to describe ourselves, right? We use categories like documented, undocumented, citizen, immigrant, refugee, and somehow, using these categories, we make decisions about who is worthy and not worthy of support, of access to food. This made me think about my family and my partner, whose parents immigrated here in the 1970s and who at times struggled to put food on the table for their kids. And I wondered about, when they were struggling, did they have access to SNAP? I don't think so. And so then I think about my child, who's 4 years old, bicultural, biracial child, and I think about the world that he will inherit. I want him to live in a world where we don't divide ourselves up into arbitrary categories, where we decide who is worthy and who is not of access to food or any other number of things. You already know them all. I don't have to say them for you. So that's what this bill begins to do, SB 610. It's one step along the way where it creates a state-funded program to eliminate those exclusions, where every Oregonian has access to SNAP. So now I'll get into the wonky parts that I can speak to a little bit, not into the details the way Matt would have been able to bring, but you've got a handout, Food for All Oregonians, and what it does is it creates a state-funded program that eliminates exclusions to SNAP, and it builds on successful community-driven navigator models. We've used this with our health navigators across the state, so building on that to provide folks with guidance in applying for SNAP, and also makes applying for assistance more welcoming and culturally responsive, offers more languages, that sort of thing. So that's my story about why I support this bill, and I hope that you all will also speak to it with your legislators. Thanks.